Hey guys, how's it going? I've got a lesson for you guys that fancy a little bit more of a challenge. So this is it's another Greb inspired kind of groove. I've been watching a lot of Greb videos lately. I went to one of his clinics a few weeks ago and I was like, absolutely, oh wow, this is so cool. So I'm doing a couple of those kind of things. This is kind of stuff that I'm working on at the minute, so I thought I'd share one with you. So this one, as you can probably see from the sheet music, there's a lot going on here. A lot going on, but I'm going to break you through it and try and make it as simple as possible. And for some of you guys, maybe you look at this and think there's too much going on there, I'm not going to be able to get this. You can take bits away from it, so you can see all four limbs are going on here. So all four limbs are doing something. But what you can do is I'm going to kind of break it down so you're only doing maybe a couple of limbs, then you add in an extra limb. And just do that for now, and then when you feel comfortable, then maybe bring in the last couple of parts and to make the entire groove. But you know, there is simpler grooves within this. So it's I actually learnt the drums. The first kind of DVD I got when I was first starting was a Thomas Lang Creative Coordination and Advanced Foot Technique, and that was the only drumming DVD I had. And you know, back then, you know, YouTube wasn't around, so it was like. That was like the only drummer I saw was Thomas Lang on this DVD. And I thought, oh, that's how you play the drums. And obviously Thomas Lang, absolute monster of a drummer, you know, really, really advanced stuff. And I was like, that's how you got to play the drums. So I'd sit down and try and work on it. It was way too hard for me. But I'd sit down, I'd study it, and I'd maybe just try and do a couple of the bits that I thought, you know, I can have a go at that. I won't do what his feet are doing because that's way too hard. But, you know, I'll just try and do the hands. And I learned a lot from that. And then I started putting the extra stuff in as I got a bit more comfortable at the drums. So, and I'm still working through that DVD 10 years on. So here we go. Let me explain what's going on with this groove then. So let's break it down. The most kind of interesting part of this is what's going on the rim of the first tom just here. You've got a strawberry rhythm, which is 1/8 note and 2/16. So you've got 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a strawberry, 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 strawberry. And then that's played on the rim of the first tom. And that's that rhythm just there. And for now, you could just put any groove with that. You could even just play a kind of straight bass and snare groove with that, just to get used to that phrase. And sped up, it'd sound like this. And you know, that's enough work as it is for a lot of guys. And then try and progress on to the next bit. So the next bit is there's a left foot going on the offbeat of every 8th note offbeat here. So that would sound like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And the tricky thing here is trying to put that with that right hand pattern, because you've got 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and so you can see the hi-hats on every and. And you know, this can be tricky to kind of put with the right hand on there. But again, just stick with that for now. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and if you're thinking strawberry, it's on the be of strawberry. So strawberry, 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 strawberry. You know, that's, like I say, that's kind of tricky to start with. But again, spend some time with it, gradually it will become more comfortable. And then you can try and put the bass and snares with it. So I'm going to take the left foot out for now, whilst I teach you this kind of bass and snare part against this rim of the tom. And then later we're going to put that left foot back in on those 8th note offbeats. So, onto the groove now, splitting it into 4 parts as always. So, first beat, you've got strawberry on there, and all you've got is a bass drum on the first beat, on the straw, or on the 1. So it's 1 and a, or strawberry. And that repeated would be this. So 1 and a 1 and a 1 and a. And then on to beat 2, we've got a snare drum on the first beat that you're playing with the rim of the tom, and a bass drum on the last one. So you're playing snare and rim on its own, and then bass and rim. So that's going to be strawberry. So that's on the re of strawberry. And that repeated would be this. So that's 2 and a 2 and a, just that second beat in the bar. And then you're onto this next bit. So this is where you've got an interesting little ghost note going on. So this is 3 and a. So we've got 16th notes here. You've got bass drum and the rim together, ghost note on the snare drum, another rim on its own, and then another bass drum and rim together. So that's going to be 1 E and a, 1 E and a. So you can see that snare drum is on its own in between those. If I take the bass drum out, you've just got right, left, right, right. Then put the bass drums back in. I'm pulling funny faces, it's because I'm struggling. So that's quite tricky to repeat, actually. Don't repeat that. Oh, that's really nasty. Anyway, but that's just the one phrase. You're not going to be repeating it in the groove. You just play it the one time. On to the next bit now. So this is beat 4. You've got the rim and a snare drum, followed by a rim on its own, and then a rim and a bass drum. So that's going to be 4-ander. And that gives you the last bar, last beat of the groove. And then the whole thing together without the left foot. This is going to be it all together now. So you've got 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. There's a lot going on just there. But anyway, so back onto it. I'm literally doing this by the skin of my teeth, trying to think this through. Sometimes you guys probably feel it too. It's easier just to play these things, but it's the learning process which is the difficulty. It's breaking it down. It's breaking it into all its small components. It's like using like a vacuum cleaner. It's like you can just press on and it vacuums your carpet. But like, actually creating that vacuum cleaner, I can imagine, I don't know how to make a vacuum cleaner, but I can imagine there's a lot of work in that, getting it all together. Takes a lot of time to build the vacuum cleaner, but then when it's built, you can just use it, hopefully, and then obviously you can just buy it. But this is part of the drums. It's practicing, it's building it up. And eventually, when you just turn on drum, you'll be able to just play it freely, like turning on a vacuum cleaner, but it's the learning process. That's the tough bit, but that's what makes you a better drummer. So anyway, back to this. So here's the whole groove again. Bit faster now. And there we go. Now, here's the tough bit. Getting that left foot in there. So I'm just going to play the groove now and put the left foot back in to show you what it sounds like, and then I'll break it down again, and we'll try and get that left foot in there for this 4-way coordination for some more of you advanced guys. So here we go. And there you have it. That's the entire thing. Now, breaking it down. So I'm going to split it up again. Obviously, you already know where the basses and snare drums go. I'm just going to talk mainly about where that left foot goes. So on to beat 1. You've got 1-ander, and obviously the left foot's on the and. So it's 1-ander. So it's bass drum, left foot, with obviously the rim staying the same. And then into beat 2, you've got snare drum and rim, left foot and rim, and then right foot and rim on the bass drum. And then if I just do beat 1 into beat 2, it'd sound like this. And then into beat 4, this is the interesting beat here because there's everything going on just here. You've got bass drum and rim on the first beat, so this is on 3. Left hand on its own on E. Right hand and left foot on and then on you've got the right hand and the right foot together. So that's going to be sorry about that. So I'm struggling with this one. Maybe I need more practice, so maybe I should watch these lessons. Anyway, and then on to beat 4, you've got, that's it. And that's just snare drum on the first beat, left foot with the right hand, and then bass drum with the right hand. Right, and then the whole thing together again. This is the entire groove together. And a bit faster now. And even faster again. And there's the whole thing. And obviously you've seen you can move it onto the ride cymbal as well. And there's loads of other stuff you can do. But if you've made it this far into the lesson, you've done well. so much stuff going on in this groove. Absolutely fantastic trying to get it. Remember, it's worth pushing through the difficult parts. Some of those tricky coordination, a lot of it's, reading this stuff, because again, trying to do this from memory is quite tricky. But, push through, you're going to become a better drummer. That's the key here. So anyway, I'll see you guys for another lesson. Thank you for watching this one, and thank you for sticking with it. And I will see you for another lesson sometime soon.